The first ever clip to Avatar Fire and Ash has been released in some limited capacity, which showcases the Wind Traders interacting with the Sullys. Avatar Theory here, hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day. And in some unexpected news, the first ever clip to Avatar Fire and Ash has been released in a limited timed capacity, which you can watch right now and in 3D if you have a MetaQuest. Now the news comes from the official Avatar Instagram account, which posted the following, quote, "Experience James Cameron official's Avatar Fire and Ash in a whole new dimension. Unleash your curiosity, connect with the world of the Na'vi, and discover what's next for Pandora, only on MetaQuest. For a limited time, watch an exclusive 3D clip in VR on MetaQuest and immerse yourself in the adventures. See Avatar Fire and Ash only in theaters December 19th, end quote. And the picture that accompanied this description was that of Pelak, which we've seen before. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a MetaQuest of my own, so I was not able to watch this clip in 3D, but I have watched the trailer numerous times in 3D in cinema, so I do have an idea of what the 3D visuals will be like in Avatar Fire and Ash. Now, thankfully, over on Reddit, a user by the name of BoringJelly5633 posted the Avatar Fire and Ash clip, which I'm guessing they recorded from their MetaQuest. You can watch the video in the link in the pinned comment below, and for obvious reasons, I'm not gonna show the clip on the channel. Instead, I'm gonna do a brief overview of what the clip is about and then try and break it down a little bit more. Now, the clip itself is roughly 2.5 minutes long, which is quite long for something that just dropped unexpectedly like this. But my guess is that they will probably show this clip at the end of the re-release of Avatar: The Way of Water, similarly to what they did for the second Avatar movie when they re-released the first Avatar in theaters back in 2022. But it's still up for discussion if there will be any other clips shown. Now, as I said, this clip essentially focuses on the Wind Traders and Jake and Neytiri landing on one of those air caravans greeted by Pelak, and you also see Spider and the rest of the Sully children on top of these massive structures. Jake briefly has an interaction with Pelak, talking about their agreement, which initially was only for Spider, and I will go into their dialogue in a moment. But essentially, like I said, the clip is Jake and his family landing on top of these huge caravans pulled by the wind rays as they leave the Metkayina, something we've seen in concept art a couple of months ago. And honestly, it is quite a stunning clip despite the resolution and quality it was recorded, which makes me even more excited to see this in 3D. Now, as for a deeper look at this clip, you see Jake and Neytiri on top of their ikrans landing at the platform, which looks like the second level of these trade caravans. It looks like they have 2 levels, and you can see at the bottom there is one of the crossbows, that massive weapons, which I'm guessing is their defense mechanisms. And when Neytiri lands, you can see she has a bow in her hand, and the quality isn't that great, so it isn't clear what bow she has, but it doesn't look like her bow that was repaired, which we see in the teaser trailer. My guess is that probably throughout the movie she uses a different bow, and then towards the end of the movie Loak brings her bow, which she repaired, and then towards the end of the movie she uses her own bow again. As the clip continues, we also see Kiri and Tuk at the back there landing from an ikran, as well as Spider and Luwak jumping from another ikran which landed on the left side, and you can see Spider has some sort of blue cloth around him. And you can also notice that Spider does have his mask in the scene, indicating that this of course takes place before he is attacked and before his mask is damaged. Now, as Pelak approaches Jake, he says to Jake that their arrangement was for the pink skin boy only, which likely refers to Spider. Now, I'm not entirely sure why Jake has an arrangement or an agreement for Spider to be transferred with the Wind Traders. Maybe maybe Quaritch went back to the RDA and he said that he wants to get his son back or something to that extent. I'm not quite sure yet. I'll have to dig a little bit deeper as a few theories comes to mind. But Jake tells Pelak that there won't be any trouble, whereas Pelak then told Jake that he is already trouble. He also then tells Jake that a trader must move freely and cannot choose sides, and having Turok Maktu on board really cuts close to choosing sides while he does this gesture to his throat. He also says choosing a side in this war, and Jake simply responds by saying that he is mistaken, that Turok Maktu was never on board. Just casually saying that, forget that I was ever here and forget that you ever saw me. The look on Neytiri's face is upsetting, and I'm guessing that Jake and Neytiri already had that argument, which we see in the teaser trailer, because she just has this sad blank look on her face, probably with a lot of thoughts going through her mind. Jake then continues to say that if he was ever on board, of course referring to himself, and then as he lifts his gun, he says that he and his woman, obviously referring to Neytiri, would be happy to fly his outriders and protect his caravans. This gives me indication that Jake and his family is probably going to try and protect the caravans to wherever they are heading to, but along the way will likely get attacked by the Mangkwan, which is what we see a tease of in the teaser trailer. Pelak simply says perhaps so, and then he says, or makes a statement by saying the Mangkwan raiders grow more aggressive as the music starts to swell. And then he just tells Jake, very well, I'll meet you on this, while exchanging a handshake. Then as the beat of the drums and the music kicks in, somebody in front of the caravans blows a horn, indicating that obviously it's time to leave, and at the bottom there you can see some stingwing flying around as they're preparing to leave the Metkayina. The children then runs to the front while all of the wind traders, which kind of sounds and acts like pirates on top of these caravans, are preparing to leave. And then you see the kids waving down at the Metkayina as the Metkayina starts to do some sort of chant, probably a goodbye chant, and specifically you can see Tirea calling and waving to Luwak, and Luwak calling and waving back to her. And then you just see Renal looking at Tirea, almost kind of giving this concerning look like, why are you waving at this boy? What effect has this boy over you? Kind of like that protective mother instinct, and we will probably see a little bit of that play out in the movie. Now, one thing to notice about Tirea is that she does not have that tattoo, which we do see in the teaser trailer, and when it does show Tirea with a tattoo, we do see Luwak with her as well, so of course the two of them are going to meet up again later on in the movie. Pelak just shouts to his clan to get ready the caravans, and then you see them, like I said, do things that just kind of reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean, the crew acting all piratey, getting the ship ready to set sail essentially. And then you see the wind rays getting ready to pull off, but they struggle a little bit. And then as the wind raiders pulls open the sails, Pelak shouts to his crew to lighten the ship, where we see water coming out from the front. The water probably acted as some sort of anchor in the ship. Maybe when they were at the Metkayina, they were taking some water in, making the ship a bit heavier, but I'm just speculating here. I'm not entirely sure how these ships work, but as the ships seems to lose water, you can see that the wind rays are having a much easier time pulling these caravans. And then we also get a beautiful shot from the top, which we can see these wind rays and just how massive these creatures are compared to, well, everything else in this clip. You can see the caravan at the back there, some skim wings at the bottom, and then of course the jellyfish tentacles from these big floating structures at the back. Certainly has an interesting design, and I'm still wondering if they can use those tentacles as some sort of weapon. As the sails open, we see Kiri looking up at them, which we've seen in the teaser trailer, and then we just see all of the caravans leaving the Metkayina with two Ikirans flying next to them, and the clip ends by showing us a total of 6 caravans traveling away. And that concludes this 2.5 minute clip, which, like I've said, you can watch right now if you have a meta quest, or, well, by following the link in the pinned comment and the description below, which was posted by BoringJelly5633 on Reddit. As I said in the beginning of this video, it is quite strange that they just dropped this clip out of nowhere, as the marketing for Avatar Fire and Ash has been a little bit odd, to say the least. But I mean, the movie is essentially coming out in 3 months from now. So they probably have to start pushing the marketing train, as I don't really feel that it's going fast enough. And I do wonder if we will start seeing more and more clips as we get closer to the release of the movie. I am just afraid of them essentially spoiling everything before the release, because with some of the other movies that Disney have released, like Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and more recently Tron Ares, which is coming out next month, they've been doing a lot of clips, or well, they did a lot of clips for those movies, and they've been doing a lot of stuff for Tron Ares, which makes me feel like, I don't want to see too much, don't show me too much, give me enough that I want more, but don't essentially give away the entire movie before the release. We only have 3 months to go. I would be happy if we get like one more trailer and that's about it, but probably we will get 2 more trailers and then a lot of clips in between. But I would like to know from you on your thoughts about this clip, if you've seen it at all, and if you've seen it through MetaQuest, let me know what your experience was. And if you'd like to stay up to date with everything Avatar related, then why not click that subscribe button and have a look at the rest of my channel. Until next time, have a fantastic day and stay safe.